Now, of course, when you're locked up, you're going to want to feel like somebody's in your corner. You're going to want somebody that's going to write you, send you pictures, be there for you when you need someone to talk to. Down here in the state of Florida, we call them Penpals. And it would blow your mind how many people that are on the streets are infatuated with being someone's pen pal that is incarcerated. This is coming from someone whose property was thrown out 3 times while I was being transferred from different institutions, and I had to start all over. And trust me, I still came home with plenty of letters from my pen pals while I was locked up.
Haha, Dom the best. Finna be this way till I EOS. Take it how you want, nigga. Yeah, I'm a pro. Fuck around and bust your lot while you're at Vizzo. I hate to be this way, but I live for the moment. Waking up every day, show me an opponent. Shanks on deck, hitting bitch with locks. So much pool, I can even start you from the box. You don't wanna pay rent, got me bent. Got lax on deck, your money was well spent. Vultures on the prowl, so don't try testing. Step 2 comes violent, first steps finessing. You a hold down man, suitcase this. My cell phone, I'm a charger, don't walk with a limp. Get it knocked off or missing, you gon' get it. Next time I see you ass, you gon' leave airlifted.
What's up, y'all? You already know, man. Kfrogtv back in the building. Y'all go ahead and do me that solid favor. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and also make sure you hit the notification bell so you can see it first. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today I'm going to be talking about pen pals. If you've been locked up, then I'm pretty sure you've had one. If you haven't had one, you was locked up, then I'm pretty sure you knew somebody in there that did have one. Now, a lot of people that get locked up, while they're locked up, you know, they might have a girlfriend, an old lady, you know, but a lot of it, if that wasn't your girl before you got in there, then in all reality, that girl was your pen pal. If you know, pursue it and y'all end up together when you touch down after you finally are released, then that is just a pen pal turned to a girlfriend. You understand? But in all reality, I was a pen pal at first. You see what I'm saying? And it ain't always got to be on some sexual stuff, you know, like you ain't got to be with that individual, you know, and y'all ain't even got to talk about being together or anything like that when it comes to being a pen pal. A pen pal is someone that is going to write you while you were gone, just so you're not alone. Just so you receive mail from people, to let people feel like they have somebody on the streets they can talk to. If you ever want to vent, sit down and drop some shit on some paper and shoot it to someone, then you have someone you could do that to, okay? And it would blow your mind how many people on the streets are actually in need of a pen pal. You know, people on the streets be looking for people that are in prison to write, believe it or not. And when it comes to like inmates who are on death row, stuff like that, you wouldn't believe how many of them have someone to write on the streets. You'll think, oh, out of sight, out of mind, right? For anyone who's did a little bid, you know, you felt like, oh yeah, everybody was there for you when you first got locked up. But then after you was gone for a while, you know, them letters slowed down, you know, and your circle got a whole lot smaller, and your popularity, and as much as you felt like you were needed by them individuals that you once was around on the streets, you just realized how they all started falling off. And before you knew it, you felt all alone. Well, when it comes to a pen pal, you can literally be talking and writing to somebody that has nothing to do with hooking up or anything like that, like I said. And that individual right there can make you feel like they're there for you more than someone that you truly knew. And then that's when your mind goes to getting in the gutter to make you think, oh, I got me one, boy. She riding. She gonna ride. She been sending that mail faithfully. I've been getting that mail back to back, boy. She put money on the phone and all that. Right? It kind of like messes with your mind a little bit because you're so used to people letting you down while you're gone. You see what I'm saying? And then when it comes to the people who are on the streets, who are in desperate need of a pen pal, you know, them people are so used to getting, you know, taken advantage of and being let down by individuals on the streets in the real world. And they want someone that's locked up because they know that person is going to make them feel good because they're in a whole lot worse situation. And 9 times out of 10, they're going to be nice from the inside, sending letters on the out because they don't have, you know, access to the free world. And, you know, they just want someone that's going to be there for them. Believe it or not, throughout my bid, I had plenty of pen pals, all right? Now, let's talk about the ones that I knew personally. All right. Now, like I said, a pen pal ain't always got to be on some sexual shit when you writing them. Am I going to say a lot of it wasn't? No. Because majority of it did turn to that. You feel me? When you're locked up and you got nothing but time on your hands, so many things are going through your mind that you're just, it's like you're digging. In every letter, you're digging deeper and deeper and trying to, plant your seed, more and more through each letter. Now, while I was locked up, I got so many letters from people on the streets that I knew. And a lot of them that were females were just pen pals. I'm talking about people that on the streets, I never crammed them on the streets or nothing like that. I knew them, they knew me, we hung out, but it was never nothing like that. They knew who Frog was and I knew who they were. But when I was locked up, plenty of them wrote me, wanting to be there for me. And, a lot of it, shocked me. You sitting there playing cards or something with your homeboys, they call your name for mail call. When you go look and you get that letter the guard puts in the air and you look and it's got someone's name on it from the streets that you wasn't expecting to hear from, like someone you're not even thinking of. You can't help to be like, hey, someone take my spot on that table. You feel me? I got to go check this shit out because it feels good to know somebody out there is thinking of you enough to actually sit down and write you a letter. You feel me? And you can't expect everybody out there on the streets to make time to write you, You got yourself put in prison, so it ain't their job, it ain't their duty. It's a plus if they're willing to do that, you know what I'm saying? So when I get them letters from girls that I wasn't expecting, I'm like, damn, let me see what she talking about. I open the letter up, reading and shit. And at first it started as if, blah, 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 I got a boyfriend out here, and, I'm just telling you to keep your head up, blah, 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 But when I sit down and I write a letter back, and I send that first letter back out there to them streets, if I get them to bite back and send another one, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. And then I'll do one more, poof. And then if they write back again, so that's the third letter I received, 9 times out of 10, it flips around and it turns into being some flirting shit. Us writing things back and forth. Then they're spraying your letter so it smells good. So people in your quad or in your cell block are like, damn, boy, I smell that shit. You can't help but to put your nose up to the envelope 100 times. That's how it is, you feel me? Then got me doing the same thing, going in the magazines. We get the magazines that got the little smell strip and we rip them shits out, rub them all on us for Vizzo, right? You get them shits and go to rubbing the envelope down with it before I send it out. You feel me? So when she gets it, she's like, oh, that boy smells good in prison. Or may think, damn, this shit passed through someone else's hands, or the damn mailman must have had that good sprayed on him. But in all reality, that's from me inside the cell. Now, once it turns into the little flirting stuff, you can't help but to, put that switch on in your mind like, damn, she might be the one. I never knew old Christina from out there was going to be the one to ride. I never knew old Jessica was feeling me like that. And what it is they're just happy that someone's talking to them nice. You feel me? And you're just happy that someone's there for you. So that ends up being your pen pal. And like I said, I've had my mail thrown out 3 times while I was in prison. Through the transferring and get put in confinement, different things, that the guards would just throw my shit out. I had to start over 3 times with collecting my mail. And as much as you seen while I was in the intro is what I was able to keep. You feel me? Now, a lot of people are like, damn, man, why you keep all your mail? Why you do that? My exact reason for keeping all my mail is memories, all right? Like, I'm not out here on the streets reading it or nothing like that, of course. But it's just a memory for me to know I don't want to go back to that shit. You understand? And when I'm dead and gone, my kids are going to be stumbling across my shit and they're going to see this. And then next thing you know, they're going to look into this mail and they're going to see their friends or their homegirls or their girlfriend's mom are going to be all in there. And they're going to be like, damn, my dad was talking to such and such his mom when he was in prison. My old boy got pictures of what's his name's mom in his prison photo album. Things like that. That later on, when these girls start having kids and stuff like that and all their kids grow up with my kids. And, that's the whole reason why I kept my mail. Because I was like, man, there's so many females that are inside of my mailbag that, like, when I got on the streets, you think they fuck with me? Some of them didn't, but majority of them did though. You see what I'm saying? Of course I pursued it. First night I got out, man, I was like Hugh Hefner. You know what I'm saying? Knocking them down like dominoes. You feel me? And at the end of the day, you build a bond with someone when they're your pen pal, you know? So it's like, if you're on the streets and you feel like you ain't got nobody, man, you can literally look online and find a pen pal. And you want to believe it. When it comes to death row inmates have so many pen pals. There's people out there that just want to write people that are on death row. Literally, that just want to be there for them. You want to believe how much money and canteen people on death row have in their account. There's literally people around the world that just want to send money to people that are facing the death penalty, that are about to get executed years down the line. You see what I'm saying? And when you're locked up, it means a lot. It really does. Now, have I ever got out, linked with someone that was just a pen pal and made a relationship out of it? I mean, not really, because here I had phones. So I've pulled females like online and shit while I was in prison and stuff, of course. But majority of them kept it real. Said, look, I'm not going to write you or nothing. You feel me? I ain't got time to write, but here's my number. You could call me if you want. Yada, yada, yada. And then I pursued it from there. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't never locked in with none of them. I got out and I've slayed a couple of them, but I ain't never really locked in with them. You feel me? Because once you get out, man, you got so much stuff going on, man, that time that you was in there miserable, alone, by yourself, when you needed that pen pal, all that shit goes right out your mind when you first get released, now that you have access to your freedom. You see what I'm saying? You can't help it, but that's what it is. I'm just being honest. You feel me? And I met some cool-ass people while I was in there, you know? And not just ones that I knew. I'm going to let y'all know about how I first met pen pals that I didn't know while in confinement through a letter, writing random girls that I never ever even met, never even knew what they looked like. You see what I'm saying? And it's crazy how that shit happens. Now, I remember when I was locked up being in confinement, ain't got nothing to do in there but kill time. Confinement time goes by so slow, but you always, you know, find a way to get through it, because at the end of the day, there's nothing you can do but deal with it. And one of the things that got me through majority of my time while I was in confinement was pen pals. I can't tell you how many females I had write me while I was in confinement. It's like once either they'd find out that I'm in confinement from people putting it online somewhere, or Frog got found with another phone, or whatever may happen, or they'd start seeing when I was putting videos, clips up, and footage of shit of me in the box. You know, and then they'd somehow come around and start writing me, you feel me? But I'll never forget, when you're locked up in the box down here in the state of Florida, they come around every once in a while. They're supposed to do it more frequently than they actually do, but they come around every once in a while with the book cart, okay? And it's going to be an inmate that works in the library that's going to come around pushing a cart that has books on it. And they're going to go by your door, and, you know, they get so tired of doing it because it's a job for them and they're an inmate just like you, that they're not going to stop and knock on every cell. Hey, you want a book? No. They're going to keep it moving. So you got to, like, pay attention, because if you're talking to your bunkie for 15 minutes and not looking out the door at all, you know, it's so dead in the quad, ain't no movement, ain't nothing, and you're so used to it, you done adapted to it, that you're not paying attention outside your door, because don't shit normally go on. And if you don't catch that damn book cart coming around, you ain't gonna get you a book. You feel me? But book call wasn't the only other thing that we used to look forward to in confinement. It was when a dude from Chapel would come around, okay? And, you know, they come around cell by cell, and they got these different flyers and, like, brochures that they'll give you, little, you know, little packets that you can read and shit, little booklets, you know? And at the end of the day, they want you to remember that no matter what you're going through, just remember the Lord loves you, etc., 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 stuff like that. Well, every time they'd come around, me and my bunkies would always be on beat to get one of them little flyers. You get to read the pictures, and, you know, it's different than what you're used to back there. So anything's better than, you know, nothing. So on the back of the pamphlet, though, was an actual list, and it said pen pals, where you could actually, as a male inmate, write female inmates. You see what I'm saying? And it blew my mind because this is how I got my first pen pal that I didn't know. I didn't know what she looked like. None of that shit. And I looked on the back of there, and it said, it showed like a name of female inmates that was actually serving life sentences, that ain't getting out, you know what I'm saying? They just had their names, their DC numbers, and the address of the prison they were at. So, you know, being an inmate, want some type of attention and trying something new when it comes to pen pals, I said, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna send a kite to a couple of these hoes and see if they bite back. You feel me? I need a pen pal. I'm pretty sure they do. I'm pretty sure they need one. They're more desperate measures than I am, right? My bunkie was laughing and shit. So boom, I got me my pen. You know, I sat down and I wrote real quick. I wrote me a little kite, put a picture of me in there because, you know, in prison you could pay $2 and you go up top to the VP, which is the visitation park, and you can get a picture taken of you so you can mail it to your family. Or if you get Vizzo, around Vizzo hours, you could go there, you know, if you're there for Vizzo, and you could pay to get a picture taken as well. So all inmates normally have pictures of themselves in their, you know, possession, so that way they can, you know, write letters and send it to their loved ones on the streets. So I had plenty of them, you feel me? So I put that bitch in there, you know what I'm saying? Told her what's up, yada, yada, yada. And I never forget, her name was Cynthia, okay? Cynthia, I'm pretty sure. It was either Cynthia or Cindy, something like that. And I remember writing her, you know, spitting my little 1-2, telling her what's up with it, blah, 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 blah. And, you know, I wasn't expecting no one to fire back or nothing like that. Because, you know, think about it. How many letters do you send to people on the streets and you never get one in return? Even people you know, you'll know for a fact they got your mail, you know, and they still won't fire one back. So what is the odds of someone you don't know firing back? And actually the odds are high. So I'll never forget, it was like 8 months later, you know, I done been back on the compound and landed back in confinement a couple more times. And then when I landed back in the box again, bam, I get mail from her. Not thinking nothing of it. I grab that bitch. It's got a picture of her and all, boy. She was an old looking lady, boy. I'm talking about, she had to been in like her late 50s. Frog pulled him an old 50-year-old. And she had that old throwback hair, you know, where it comes down, but it looks stiff. You know what I'm saying? It was like it came down like that. Looks stiff. She sent me a picture back and all. And me and my bunkie were rolling. I was like, man, she broke it down to me, told me she was in prison, you know, for bodying, you know, her husband and all this different crazy shit she put in the letter. And she said, here's a picture of me. If you feel like writing back, you know, I could use the company, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, damn. Like, boy, she in there for bagging her husband, y'all. So in my mind, I'm like, God. I'm like, you know, ain't no way in hell I'm ever going to run into her probably on the streets because, you know, she got an elbow in prison. And it wasn't even in Florida. You know, she was in Ohio or something like that. I'll never forget. It was like Dandelion, some lane or some weird, like, address in Ohio. And did I fire back? Of course I fired back, man. I told her, man, yeah, yada, yada, yada. I told her, I made it seem like I didn't get her picture, though. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and in Florida, they got that inmate-to-inmate rule. You know what I'm saying? That law to where you can't be an inmate and send a letter straight to another inmate in Florida. You feel me? But it still came in, I guess, because she wasn't in Florida. But I told her I didn't get no picture or none. So at the end of the letter the second time, I basically told her, hey, man, send a pic in there next time so I can see what you look like. Make her think I don't know what she looked like. You know what I'm saying? But I did, you feel me? And next thing you know, them letters were coming, boy. Like, she was sending them and sending them and sending them. And I stopped firing back after a while because, you know, I'm out here in the middle of this gang violence on top of violence situation. So I ain't got time to be worrying about no female at the moment, you feel me? And then I had real deal females that I was, like, hitting up on FaceTime that were busting it open for me. You feel me? So I ain't really, you know, pursue it like that. But it showed, like, pen pals come in handy, you know. If pen pals wasn't such a big thing, they wouldn't have had that shit on the back of the little thing that the dude was handed out that worked in chapel. You see, if they got that shit, you know, in the fucking catalog, there's no reason it would be in the catalog if pen pal wasn't that important. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, you can go online and look. And you can look on penpal.com probably. And it's probably ways for you to write inmates and meet people. And you feel like you meet the love of your life. You know what I'm saying? But not all pen pals are going to be good pen pals. You think about it. You can meet some weirdos. You can meet some weird ones, you know. You got to be used to the people selling you dreams and lying to you. You know what I'm saying? You got to be ready for, whether it's a female or a male, you got to be ready for them to gas you up, make you think they're coming home soon, make you think they're in the middle of appeal, you know, that their time is wrong, they got an error in the system. You got to be ready for all these certain things, because people are going to tell you what you want to hear, just like they're in there and they're liking what you're telling them, and you know, oh, that person there don't know what I'm really doing. I'll tell them I ain't fucking with nobody, and I'll just act like I'm holding them down. You know, in there, if that person can get attention from someone else, they will. You know, and when I came home from prison, I had got into like a situation with one of my closest dog's sisters, because she was best friends with a girl whose heart I broke. You feel me? And it was all because she was my pen pal while I was in prison. You see, and when I got out, I didn't pursue it. I ain't really try to take her down or knock her down or nothing like that at first, you feel me? And then it caused a whole big commotion and everything. And my dog sided with me at the time against his own peoples, you know, because he's like, man, my dog ain't do nothing wrong. If I was in prison, I'd probably be writing about 25 hoes also, which was real. You see what I'm saying? And then, you know, a couple years go by, got in her inbox, and still took her down. You feel me? But the fact of the matter is that she was just a pen pal at first. You see, I needed her while I was in prison. I needed her attention. I needed to feel like I had someone, you know, jump in line with everybody else that's making me feel like that. At the same time, it isn't about if you have 30 people willing to write you. You know, why would you go for a pen pal? Why would you try to hit someone up and have someone else write you when you already know there's 30 of them that want to write you? Because it's basically, it's the intermission to see if you could still, you know, accomplish snatching a female while out of sight, out of mind. You feel me? It's still the accomplishment to be able to see if you got that talk game to where you can finesse them. You could get up under their skin, get in their head, fuck them physically, mentally and shit also, you know what I'm saying? But it all starts with being a pen pal. And that was my whole goal. So it didn't matter if I had 30 of them writing me. If there was a girl that I wanted to put on my list, I was going to do what I had to do to get her attention to see if she would respond. And it didn't work with all of them. Of course it didn't. You know what I'm saying? But what would 31 hurt if I already have 30? And then what would 32 hurt if I already have 31? You see, and that's how it went with me. You feel me? So pen pals, I truly appreciate. I'm for it. You know what I'm saying? I believe in it. You feel me? Because I know hundreds of people right now that are locked up, that are my dogs, that could use a pen pal. You understand? And there's so many of them that I can't even put their names out there. You feel me? And they know that. You know what I'm saying? I can't tell you how many people that tell me, "Frog, send me some pictures of some hoes." You know, this and that, this and that. You feel me? And even if it's a girl on the streets that's in a full-blown relationship, loves her husband, she's married, whatever it may be, they'll still find what they're not getting from their husband from a pen pal. Believe it or not. You know, they might make you smile and laugh a certain way your husband don't. And the reason for that is because they don't have nobody. All they have is their word. You understand? And word goes a long way. You feel me? Think of it. Look at the books and shit we read while we're locked up. 48 Laws of Power, 33 Strategies of War, Art of Seduction. You know, like them Robert Greene books, them were shits we was studying while we was in prison. You feel me? Those are things that we literally sit there and cope and read, and it locks it in our mind to where we can't help but to have game at certain times. You understand? Like, even when it comes to back to when I said not that many pen pals are going to stay in the friend zone. It's going to lead into some flirtatious shit, and it's going to lead into you snatching her, and then now you are talking about some sexual stuff, because you can't help but to have game, because you got all your emotions, you got all your feelings built up, and you miss certain things and miss certain individuals. So if you're missing all these women, you're missing the scent of a woman, the touch of a girl, whatever it may be, and you got all this shit built up, and you're reading these strategized, finessed books and everything. You got so much emotion in you that when you're writing these people that ain't even trying to be with you other than writing you letters and being your pen pal, you can't help but to first throw little jokes out there. You can't help but to throw your game out there in the middle of you writing, and before you know it, you got them. Straight up. For anyone watching this video that's ever been a pen pal to someone, if you're a female, keep it 100. Drop it in the comment section. I'm pretty sure people will love to know how it is. Because, like I said, pen pals, I'm with it. I'm for it. I believe pen pals should exist. Not all pen pals are good, though. You see what I'm saying? You might meet some crazy ones, you know? Straight up. Like, I had a homeboy of mine that was in prison, and he was telling me how he met a pen pal, and she showed up to his house like 6 years later with like 5 kids crying. Like, she was on her knees and shit, banging on his door with her kids crying out there in the car and all types of shit. All because he was talking to her when he was in prison. He never even knew her physically. She was from a different state and everything. And see, she showed up there, tried to bring all her luggage and shit there. And the crazy thing is she didn't have those kids when he was talking to her. So she showed up with a whole motherfucking bracket afterwards. You know what I'm saying? A whole motherfucking life. Feel me? She showed up with a whole bunch of heads to fill the table. You feel me? And he was like, it was crazy, bro, because I was inside with my old lady. We were watching TV, and then this bitch shows up, causes a scene and everything, and she refused to leave. She refused to leave. She said, I got your letters and all this. My old lady couldn't help but to be like, what's up with this bitch out here? La, la, la. And it was just crazy. Like, people don't understand the power of writing something. You see what I'm saying? But anyways, y'all, I'm going to wrap this video on up. I appreciate y'all tuning in like I always say. If y'all have had a pen pal when you were locked up before, drop it in the comment section. Let people know. Was your pen pal a rider more than people you knew on the streets? Because that's what it was with me. The reason that I cared so much about having more than one pen pal, whether I was in a relationship or not. And I don't care if my ex-old ladies is watching this shit. Yeah, I was writing hoes. It is what it is. But what it was for me is to see how much more I can get this pen pal to do than the other. You know what I'm saying? If this one here is sending me mail 5 times a week, coming to Vizzo 3 times a year, I want to see if I can get mail 15 times a week, a couple letters a day, and see if this bitch will come to Vizzo 8 times a year. You see? Like, I want to see what more she could do for me. And if she was locked up, then yeah, I'm just passing time. We're going to chit-chat or whatever, and I'm going to try to get her PayPal information out of her before she even tries to get my PayPal information out of me. You see what I'm saying? Because she's just trying to finesse just like I'm trying to finesse. You know what I'm saying? But if you've had any experience with pen pals, whether you was the one on the inside or you was the one on the outs, drop it in the comment section. Like I said, I'm pretty sure everybody will want to know what you got to say. You already know, man. Kfrogtv, man, it's the house at home of that real spill. Make sure you keep them rats, squares, clowns, chomos, pedos, gunners, wannabe island boys, clout chasers, people that lie, people that fucking be getting interrogating and selling the whole McDonald's, people who claim they were gangbanging when they were in prison with me, but they weren't gangbanging, so they keep going online making up lies about me. But they know, boy, when I get a bunch of their brothers on video pretty soon, they gonna be like this. They're going to regret talking about old Frog. You feel me? But anyways, man, until next time, this the one and only. I am my team, Frog.